I did a test cut on a drop of red oak plywood I had, and I did everything I did with this operation just to make sure I was going to get a good connection. But when I made my dominoes, I got up here pretty much as far as I could, so that I didn't run the risk of that domino poking through the the good face, I guess I'll put it that way. So that's the reason I'm up near this inside edge. If I go any lower, I don't want to run that risk. So that's where I'm at. I'm getting ready to do those on this piece over here. Got her clamped up, ready to go. So let's do it. I'm going to use the tight setting on the legs and the loose setting on the top. Okay, this is the top. This is the two side with an arrow, not the plus sign. So let's see how this goes together. That's flush. And that feels good. I'll take a look at that in a minute here. See how it is for square. It's got to go tilt back just a hair. I don't think that'll be a problem. I like that a lot. I really like that. Let me see if I can get my camera down here and take a view of this edge once. It's pretty tight. I think with a little sanding that's going to turn out just fine. I really like that a lot. It's a nice grain match. This is the first time I've ever done anything like that, like this I should say. So that's really looking nice. Alright, it looks good. Now you can see that grain match flowing right over the edge. It's a nice match. And this is a little open, but when I put my fingers on it like that, it closes up. So I'm not too concerned about that. And then the other side is, actually I think the other side is where the grain is cut much tighter together. This might be the side where it's a couple inches apart, but it's still a nice match. Let me go to that other side. Yeah, pretty good match on this side. It's really going to be nice. Now, if the other one goes together like this one, I will be over the moon happy. We're going to have to laminate some plywood to the insides of my nightstands because the inside veneer of the plywood that I'm using is quarter sawn. I'm going to take that piece of quarter-inch plywood and laminate it to the inside of the 3/4 inch. So that the side you're looking at there is the quarter sawn side of that as well. So we'll sandwich those two together. And what I need to do is I need to get 2 backs and 4 sides out of that. And the sides are approximately 19 and a quarter by 20, 22 about, or 22 and a half. So I can get 4 out of one strip, and then the 2 backs out of the other strip. So I'm going to rip it at about 20, no, not 20, hang on. I'm going to rip it at about 19 and a half, and I'll tell you why. Because, well, I'll show you why in a minute. It's going to work out great. Kind of screwed up in reverse. But let me rip this down and I'll get back to you. Right, here's one of my sides. And originally, not originally, I was supposed to cut these at 19 and a quarter. I cut them at 19 and 3/4. So that's not all bad, and here's why. If I had given this some thought, I probably would have done it this way in the beginning. So this is going to be, this is just quarter sawn red oak, or white oak, sorry, and this is rift sawn. So when I set my panel on here, I just flush up the bottom. It leaves me a little lip on each side, which is fine. And it leaves me a little lip up here on the top, which is also fine. That gives me a little room, or a little place for the glue to go here. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch space right there. And that's never going to be seen because this is where the drawer is going to go. So, and then there's trim all around this as well. So what I'll do is glue this panel obviously to this one and the other 3 at the same time. And then I'll rip down one edge, then rip it to finished width at 19 and a quarter. That'll assure that I'm going to get a nice flush fit here, and then I can go ahead and make my my dados for my pieces that are going in that way. So in reality, it worked out pretty well. So I've got a piece of scrap panel under here, 2 cutoffs here, and then a board that had a slight bow in it to put a clamping caul in the center. So it looks pretty good. I've got pretty good squeeze out. Pretty good squeeze out everywhere. While I'm waiting for that glue to dry on my panels over there, I took 2 boards, ran them through my planer. They're probably about, I don't know, 7/8 maybe right now. Yeah, 7/8, just a hair under. But what I want to do is, I'm only able to get a vertical piece, horizontal piece, vertical piece out of an 8-foot board because it's 23, 28, 23, and I've cut these a little bit longer to give me some room to play with, and I'll be able to get 6 boards or 6 trim pieces out of this. I only need 4, but I'll take the best matching piece for the bottom to match the 2 vertical pieces out of these, and then the other pieces I'll use for something else down the road. But I've got them marked out with chalk here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I ran them, like I said, ran them through a planer, but they're just rough thickness right now. I'm going to cut them to length joint them, face joint them, then run them through the planer again to get them to final dimension. And then probably before I do that, I'll probably rip them. I'll probably rip them first so that if anything happens here, you know, if they curl on me or whatever, then I can straighten that out as well. But that's my method I got going on here, just so you know what's happening. So, okay, off of the table saw, and these are still a little bit fat, and the reason that I did that is because I want to run these over the table saw or over the joiner on the sawn edge on one more pass. But they're looking pretty good. Yeah, that one got some burn marks on it. So that one actually goes this way. And I've got them marked. So you can see this is 5 and this is to the outside. So we're good to go there. I will make that jointer pass. Let me see where I'm at exactly here. Should be a strong 1 3/4 inch. Yeah, it's a 1/16 strong. So one pass on the joiner, I'll still be a little bit strong, but that's fine. And it's been about 2.5 hours since my panels have been clamped up. I'm gonna take a little walk, and when I come back, those will be ready to come out. But I got some nice pieces that ripped off the edges of these. You know, some are thicker, but these are going to come in handy for banding the edge of the plywood. Got quite a few of those.